The topic is the Tennessee Board of Regents, and we're talking to the Chancellor of the Tennessee Board of Regents, Dr. Charles Manning. Of course, Dr. Manning, let me sort of tie into that second segment by having you to give us some information about technology within the SBR, the Tennessee Board of Regents system, and to perhaps say something about some of the challenges and some of the opportunities that you see within the range of what you're doing.
Well, on the technology first, let me start with the academic side. We about 4 years ago wanted to get into this, and we created what we've titled the Tennessee RODP, Regents Online Degree Programs. And they are fairly unique in the country. Lots of people do online education, but there are not many where all the courses are packaged together to get a degree. And so there are 3 associate degrees, 2 bachelor's degrees. There's now a master's in nursing, particularly trying to address this need in the state of Tennessee for nursing. And the master's will allow a person to teach in our community colleges and therefore teach more students, and also the education programs we were talking about. It's very unique in that it's all of our 2-year and 4-year institutions operating together. So from a student's perspective, they can decide which school they want to sign up for with, and if it's a bachelor's degree, it has to be a 4-year school, but if it's associate, it could be any of the 13 schools. It doesn't matter where you live, you sign up for it. And you may be taking a course from a faculty member at the University of Memphis, or one from that's being overseen by somebody from East Tennessee or Tennessee State. At the same time, the person actually working with you as the faculty member may be from yet another institution, and your transcript gets entered at the school you've signed up with. So it gives tremendous amount of flexibility from a student's perspective, and we're trying, you know, we've got things like the library and student services and self-help and everything else is there. And
all tied up into that online situation.
Now, you know, over that period of time, then it's really, this is the 3rd fall, we've gotten up to 10,000 course enrollments. That's one student in one course. So it's really shown that there was a real need here, and you know, sort of wherever you think of this education, sort of any time, any place, and ultimately I think it'll be any pace. Now we still are organizing a semester link. So
you've got 10,000 folks involved in it. That would almost make it the largest institution in the state system, would it?
Emphasize that. It's individual course enrollments. But yes, we've got more FTE than some of our smaller schools in this program. But it's, you know, it is a truly a collaborative amongst all the schools. So, and what it takes from a student's perspective, I'd say, is a little more discipline.
Good.
You don't have somebody with a whip over you or nagging you on a daily basis. Kind of, you've got to do a little bit more. But at the same time, there's lots of help online. And one of the most fascinating things to me about that kind of course experience versus in-class one is the faculty teach it, say, you know, there are no wallflowers in online instruction. There aren't, you know, a relatively small group who do all the talking, and some people stay quiet. It tends to be that everybody. It sort of reminds me of a little cartoon where a dog was there at a keyboard, and he says, "I love online. Nobody knows you're a dog." Well, you know, everybody feels comfortable doing that, and that really helps the education, and it's great. Now, on the kind of administrative side, we also are trying to be responsive in, you know, rather, you know, being online to do things rather than in line to do things.
Okay.
So that things like registration processes, payment processes, checking on your grades. We can't really do this yet, but our systems we want to put in so that you could do your own kind of course audit against your degree. You know, what am I lacking, and be able to check on that yourself, and put fewer people between you and getting the information you want. So sort of all those administrative things we're trying to get in an online mode.
So in a real sense, you can almost level the field of play against other institutions if you've got enough technology and enough computers and et cetera to sort of use other resources that you don't have available on your campus?
Well, you know, certainly in terms of the development of as many courses we did, this collaborative made it possible. Individual schools couldn't have done that. Plus, you know, it's kind of like you know, a collection development in a library. If we've got multiple libraries here and you choose to specialize in one thing and they specialize in another, and I do, then the citizens in that area have access to a lot more things than if we were competing, trying to do exactly the same thing that spreads that resource out more. Now, in terms of, you know, actual instruction, there's sort of the illusion that one faculty member could teach millions. Well, if they're writing your everyone in that class is writing your emails every day.
Yes.
You know, you start to see that you can't do that. In fact, there is more interaction. It takes a great deal. So there's not a limitless class size in that regard, but it certainly makes it possible for people who have very busy schedules or are in remote areas to
and people who are determined to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they have to have the will, but they can tack that into their life. I'd say the you know, the real challenges that we have. I heard a news report, I don't know, about 2 months ago. It was interesting that the port in Los Angeles is growing, a lot more trade coming in and out of there, and they were hiring some more longshoremen, a few hundred longshoremen. And more than 100,000 people applied for those jobs. Now, my take-home lesson for that is that there are very few positions where you don't need many skills or education to get started, but you make enough money to live a life and raise a family, you know, have health care, have retirement. There's so few of those available now that over 100,000 people apply. We've got in Tennessee to raise the education level so that we are competitive and that people can get those jobs. We can attract them and retain them and keep them. And that really is, that's a very, very big challenge. You know, the national program of No Child Left Behind.
Good.
That, you know, that sounds like apple pie motherhood. Who wouldn't? But you know, higher education hasn't behaved that way. I'm old enough that you know, one of my classes it did happen. Faculty member says, "Look to the left of you, look to the right of you. One of you won't be here at graduation day." And that was a mark of pride that that this was a good, tough school. And
only a few survived.
Only a few survived, and that shows how good we are. Well, you know, the whole focus for public higher education is 180 degrees turned around now, where, you know, a member of the General Assembly might say, you know, they didn't finish. Well, you know, you wasted their time, you wasted our money, you wasted their money. You know, the job is really to educate, get people all the way through. So it has changed really a great deal. This was from another state, but a fun story is, you know, talking in a rural area in a public meeting, and we were promoting things, you know, and quality of education. Finally, somebody who told us he was a school board chairman, he said, you know, we don't really care about A and B students here. They grow up and leave. We care about C and D students. They stay right here. Then he said, and grow up and become school board chairman. Now, you know, that's what No Child Left Behind is really about, is bringing everybody along and raising them up to a level where they can be productive, can earn money, can raise a family, and you know, be an active participant in this society.
Very good. And of course, Chancellor, I think we're nearing the end of this particular show today, as soon as we get some information about where we are in reference to this. But I think we must be about near the latter part of this. but we want to, we've got 30 seconds to go here, and we're waiting on some kind of indication of that, you see. But I certainly want to thank you for coming by and giving us that information today. I think that and especially the information about the lottery, because I think that that's a very, very important piece of information there.
Well, it's something to remember as, you know, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th graders to get the grade point averages and the test scores, and it's also important once you've entered, keep those grades
Very
up
good.
so you don't lose it.
Okay, thank you, Chancellor, and let me thank our audience and encourage them to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.